ADD, ADHD, and autism, and all other behavioral problem children. The brain electrotherapy stimulator, BES I call it, stimulates the neurons of the brain which counteracts the stress response, completes the blocked wiring of the neural firing so the brain can use the damaged neurons. Okay, now what did I say? Well, my unit stimulates the different neurons the brain has, and when you put the pad, it's a sponge pad that you wet with salt water so the salt water doesn't rust the little wire, net wire that conducts electricity from the unit. We have a little wiring in there, and then a sponge goes on top of that. So that is a little electrode. That energy, that little milliamp of voltage from there completes the blocked wiring of the neuron, so the firing of that neuron the brain can use to heal the damaged area. It also addresses psychological symptoms by reducing anxiety, restlessness, agitation, anger, depression, and sleep problems. But these are small things. The main thing that this will do is it will help build the brain that's already there, because the brain's wired, but some of the neurons can't complete their firing to the next neuron, and this affects the child. It affects the parent. It affects the stroke victim. So these two units that I've developed, I sell to address these problems. Furthermore, the improvements in emotional regulation reduce the risk of inappropriate, impulsive, aggressive behaviors. This is a must-have treatment for ADD, ADHD, and other behavioral problem children. Better learning for everyone through electricity. The type of direct current by this unit can dramatically enhance cognitive functioning in a variety of ways. One recent study by Dr. Crescent and Dr. Madden of City University of Los Angeles showed that subjects receiving this current while given a learning task learn more and showed more concentration and alertness than a control group showed, more attention of concentration for better learning and higher grades. Brain damage. Studies show that subjects suffering from cognitive deficits caused by brain damage show not only improved cognitive functioning, but in fact reversed the brain damage that caused the cognitive deficits in the first place. Okay, now, what am I saying here? We have studies by medical universities, medical hospitals, that people that were suffering from brain damage showed not only improvement, but cognitive, that means thinking function, but in fact reversed the brain damage that caused the cognitive deficits in the first place. So not only did it help and cure the problem, but it reversed the brain damage. Wow, that is really something. And it was done. Dr. Smith, who conducted this research, believes that this type of unit can increase brain functioning for all of us by selectively stimulating parts of the brain that are not functioning at peak capacity. So this research, in a nutshell, says that these brain units that they're now using, brain units similar to mine that I use but cost tens of thousands of dollars more than my unit, are using the stimulus that are curing these brain problems. Pumping brain chemicals. A variety of studies have shown that this type of unit has immediate and powerful effects in increasing levels of beta interferon and serotonin, adrenergic hormone, ACTH, neuroendorphin, and cholinesterase, which can heal and increase our IQ. In a nutshell, we can pump brain chemicals by using these machines that increase the serotonin, ACTH, and can heal and increase our IQ. Well, that's really a statement. Raise your IQ by 10 points? Well, I myself, Professor Dr. Cranford, has proven by my own testing his ability to read and study science papers, getting his Doctor of Science degree at 75, increasing his ability from reading 5 books a month to now over 20 books a month. And how did I do this? I did this by using my first machine to increase my brain capacity. Remember, I said I had lost 30 points of my IQ from 140 down to 110 through strokes and carbon monoxide. And I used that first machine, the electrotherapy brain stimulator. I used that machine to increase my brain capacity to build the second unit. Who am I? Well, for those that don't know me, I have a PhD in philosophy. I'm a professor at the highest level. I teach PhD students in Hong Kong. I have a Doctor of Science degree. And before, when I was 19 and 20 years old, I was Napoleon Hill's partner until he died, 1971, and I was 31. And we wrote and sold through our books, tapes, and records over 100 million copies of different books and different courses. And he is the guy that wrote Think and Grow Rich. I have 2 books out here in Vietnam, Right Brain Kids and Think and Grow Rich in Vietnam. Right Brain Kids is my own book, and Think and Grow Rich I wrote with Napoleon Hill. Although he's dead, I still include him anytime I use his works. And he and I had works together that we published. I still put him on as co-author or myself as co-author. Now, I no longer take clients in my clinic. I have built these units to take place of the expensive vitamins that only reached and helped about 20% of the wiring of the brain that these children need, children with behavioral problems, and never could help the stroke victims or the Alzheimer's victims or give anyone genius ability. So the vitamins just won't do that. So I built these electronic machines to do that, to help not only these behavior challenged children, but also my father died of Alzheimer's. I wanted to help Alzheimer's people, and I wanted to help people with strokes. So these units do that. Now, if you're interested in any of my work, you can call Dr. Hong, my partner, for information how you can get more knowledge or how you can purchase one. Relieving ADD and ADHD. Children diagnosed with ADD and ADHD have too much theta activity and not high beta or gamma activity. A common biofeedback treatment for ADD is to suppress theta activity by increasing beta gamma waves, U high focus, and pure focus. Okay, now this is a little bit complicated, but what you need to know is my electronic units do this for you. I have alpha, beta, theta, delta, and gamma waves, and then my own proprietary wave that is on underneath all these waves, and together these two waves do the healing that is necessary for you, or can increase the brain intelligence to give you a genius-like ability. Now, this is not forever. On even the healing for the behavior challenged children, if you stop using the unit, you will stop getting the benefit. Now, will it go back to where the child was at before they started? No, I don't believe that. My results have said that if you stop using it, you do gain some. But you have to continue using the unit to gain the benefit. That's also the case with the wiring of the brain for genius-like ability. And it's only for a short period of time that you have this. So you have to continue to use the machine to have this ability. And for the Alzheimer's and the stroke victim, well, Harvard has found that the people that once they gain the use of the limb that is affected by the stroke, that will never recede, that will never go back. But to gain that use, it's over a long period of time. The beta waves range between 13 and 40 hertz. You're wide awake, you're alert, your mind is sharp, it's focused, it makes connections quickly, easily, and you're primed to do work that requires your full attention. In the beta state, neurons fire abundantly in rapid succession, help you achieve peak performance. New ideas, solutions to your problems, flash like lightning in your mind. Now, this is the person that would like to have genius-like ability really needs to re-listen to this connection, this clip, because this is the main thing you're paying for. You will receive through using the different waves, and different waves give out different things. But just this one thing is worth 10 times the price of the machine. When you go into the beta range, that's the last of the, I have 5 knobs, and that's the last of the knobs, 13 to 40 hertz. You will be in the high or mid beta range. And this range, with the overlying frequency that I have, will help you have the genius-like ability. Now, all the other ones also help you, but this one range will help you the most. This is where you can come up with your new ideas. This is where I developed, through this range, I developed the machines and the different things that I work on. Attention deficit disorder. The beta training is beneficial for the treatment of ADD. It increases cognition. Beta brainwaves helps you prepare for an exam, give a presentation, an analysis, organize information, and other activities where mental alertness and high levels of concentration are key to your success. 40 hertz is the high beta frequency used on many brain synchronization audio programs which fall into gamma wave range. if you see gamma waves for more details on this powerful brain frequency. Now, people say, and people will try to go out and copy me and sell units, but they only have the 40 hertz. You do not have the underlining that is frequency, that if you do not combine both of those frequencies, you will not gain these benefits. So only having buying some unit that has a 40 hertz on there won't give you the brain-like genius ability that my unit does, because you don't have my proprietary wave underneath there. So it takes both of mine. It takes the 40 hertz and the wave that goes along, and this wave I don't give out, and only my engineers and I know how to build that wave. Now the gamma waves, 40 hertz and up, are the fastest of the brainwave frequency and signify the highest state of focus possibility. Now I don't go above 40, but gamma waves goes on up. I only go up to 40 hertz. They are associated with peak concentration and brain's optimal frequency for cognitive functioning. Like a professional basketball player counting the stitches on an incoming fastball, in the gamma state, your brain is running at full capacity. Increased clarity and cognition. The gamma wave is the pattern of brain waves associated with perception and consciousness. Gamma waves work like the glue of the mind, holding and connecting all your senses and thought process together in a unified whole. Nobel Prize-winning scientist Sir Francis Crick believes that the 40 hertz frequency may be the key to the act of cognition. Natural antidepressant. Gamma activity also works as a natural antidepressant, boosting your mood, empathy, and compassion. Now, I have a client of mine, I won't call her by name, but she's 30 years old, I believe, maybe 31, and she has a wonderful job in Japan, and she's Vietnamese, and she gets depressed easy, and I can't wait to see her. Now she's in Japan, and she'll be back, and as soon as she comes back, I'll have my wife contact her. I can't wait to see her and get her to use one of my units. Actually, she owns one, but the second unit I want her to use, because it will really help her. Sometimes she is very depressed. Okay, now, if you could see these slides, which you will, they'll be put up on a clip, you will see the dead slide, the dead synopsis of cells, and the actually living synopsis, and you can see the difference. The dead, a trophy, they're dying, there's no life in them, there's no spark, there's no energy, and the live cell is a thick branch, and neurons are making new neurons, and the energy are flowing through it. Now, this is the difference in being able to have a brain that is alive and functioning, and all the cells are producing. Raise your IQ by 10 to 20 points. Dr. Stephen Stimulator at California State University, studies showed that the IQ can be raised as much as 20 points. Gosh, do you know what that means? If you can raise your IQ 20 points, well, I'll tell you what it means. I lost 30 points in my IQ from 140 down to 110 by strokes and carbon monoxide. And I had to use my first machine to raise my IQ back up enough so I could invent the second machine. In other words, 110 did not give me the knowledge I needed to read the books and gain the knowledge from them to help electric engineer show him the way to build the second machine. Now, You would say, well, if you have the idea, you can give it to electric engineer and they can come up with the wiring. Well, that's not so. I've had many electric engineers over the last 50 years I've worked with, and 3 different electronic engineers here in Vietnam, and only one could do different wiring of come up with the circuitry that I needed. And I know the circuitry I need, but I'm not an engineer. I don't know how to develop that circuitry. But I know when it's wrong, and I know how to get it done. But I only had one person, and he works for me now. So it's not as easy as you think. And I know I had to raise my IQ back up to the genius ability to do this. So raise your IQ, and to have doctors from California State University say that they have a study that shows you can do it, but I'm telling you I did it because I did it on myself. If you have any questions, I want you to contact me, and you can do that through my partner, Dr. Hong, and we will give you on the next clip, the next slide will be the phone number and the email address. And this is Charles Crawford saying thank you for letting me address you.